See, there's no overhangs, no nasty metal edges. These will get tightened up at a later stage. That's quite a good guess. So if you're interested, the size is 1/4 by 1/1/4 CSMT screws and nuts. I didn't end up using the Scotty pad mount. It's good, I've had them for a while and obviously haven't needed them. The reason I'm not putting nylock knots on this is because I want to be able to get to it at a later stage. If these screws wear out from reinstallation, I know which ones fit perfectly. I'll keep the packets. That's a good tip as well. Okay, this is nice and dry. Just moved on to the next one. I'll just give it a quick tap just to make sure. Now we're going to put about 1/2 inch of the marine goop into the recess. Make sure you have protective gloves on. This is a tricky part. You don't want to get any air, so make sure you squeeze from the bottom. You don't want any air bubbles whatsoever. It can lead to faulty readings when we embed the transducer. Looks pretty good. I did hear a small little pop though, so I think there might be an air bubble, but we can smooth that out. Okay, we've got about 1/2 inch in there now. Just going to put a torch into it and just have a better look. There's a couple of air bubbles in there. This can be removed by just agitating the goop. We just want to make sure there's no voids, no hidden areas where there's major air pockets. Probably do with a little bit more goop. Just add some more in now. Grab the transducer, shake forward, push down firmly. Don't worry about any excess. When you push down you hear a few pops here and there. That's just an indication that if there are any air bubbles that will form from giving it a big firm tap, they will disappear. Hopefully there's none on this, time will tell. It's relatively straightforward installation though. Okay, the next phase is we're going to pass the cords through from underneath. I've got a little grommet here that's for the hole that I cut. As per instructions, we're just going to cut a slip down one side so the cords can pass through easy enough. I'll take advantage of the little cutting board on top of the Pro Angler to do this. Nice little slit. And then put the grommet back into the hole that's cut. Should get a nice foam seal. So, I'm only going to have enough to go to the power. I don't want any more at any stage. So, I've also put a cable tie up towards the bottom from the inside, over the grommet as well, and also one underneath, so that if these lines try and push through, they can't go any further. That can always be removed at another date, but seeing as though this is going to be out all the time, may as well make it functional. Okay, now we're going to connect up the battery using a little gel cap kit, connecting kit. Obviously red wire to red wire. I've never used one of these things before, this is great. Once they're in, this is going to make the connection waterproof. Make sure they're in. Grab your pliers. Grab gently at first and just keep a nice clean. Yeah, once you hear that snap, the gel from the little gel pack completes the connection. Also makes it water resistant too, so it's great to avoid corrosion. I'll be looking for these in the future. This is a really smart thing to do. It saves crimping, soldering, re-crimping and soldering, corrosion in line, and wire snappage. effects, which is usually on the day you go on your biggest fishing trip of the year. So once again, I'm just making sure that they're nice and firm, pushed in all the way. Grab it lightly to start with, make sure you push down. That clicking sound, connection is established. So here we go, we've got a battery terminal. And we have a nice solid battery connection. This is some additional equipment that comes with the fish finder packet install kit. It comes with 2 sets of 4 Energizer Industrials and obviously battery housing. Some sports bag that came with the kit is we're actually going to mount the battery in there. This is like a dry bag, a nice one's dry seal. See-through opening so you can see what's going on. Bundle till you're full of wire. We want some of this thicker wire in just in case something else needs to be done. We're going to be cable tying this to accessories with the mount or the mast. So it's going to be as simple as leaving one bit out the top, rolling over 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3. You might just do 2 for this demonstration. And even if you don't wish to cable tie, it's just a matter of clicking around the mast like that, as such. You can get to it nice and easy. Around the accessories mast, it's not going to move at all, and it'll be easy to either leave in. You could leave this in your kayak permanently, and then just take it out when you need to change the batteries, or you could remove it. I will probably leave this in, so I will consider fully cable tying it, but I mean the connection is very strong, strong enough to leave it with a bit of confidence. We'll just wait a little bit longer and then I'll coil up the rest of the transducer cable and we'll cable tie that to one side of the accessories mast. And basically, fish finder installation is complete. And we'll set it in demo mode after I do that too, just to make sure that it picks up the transducer and also battery power. Okay, so we've installed everything we need to install. Battery power in our dry bag attached to the accessories mast, and we've got the rest of our transducer cable tied to the accessories mast. Behind that we've got the transducer, which after taking it for its shakedown cruise the other day worked quite well. In fact, it was immaculate, there was no issues whatsoever, so even after a few days it was perfectly rock solid and ready to use. The marine goop dries a lot quicker than Sikaflex does, so in this case, even with the rain when I installed it, as you saw in the previous sections of this video, had no real impact on the way that it dried, so with confidence I'd say 2 days at least, and you'll be ready to go. But now the fish finder is totally complete. I can use this and access this whenever I want. Okay, well I've finally finished setting up the Pro Angler for my basic needs. My basic needs basically include fishing freshwater tournaments such as Snowy Mountains Trout Festival and brim fishing in the ABT and the Southern Brim Series and any social saltwater events. When fishing in the Brim Series tournaments, I probably won't use these forward rod holders as I mentioned before. It's actually not too far to reach behind. I'll also have a net at the back and a paddle. So that's basically it. The Hobie Pro Angler is ready to rock and roll. I look forward to taking it out this weekend, fishing in Trout Fest, and hopefully I can turn a few heads. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's nothing special, but it just gives you an idea of how one can easily set up a Pro Angler, or any kayak for that matter, for their